One thing that I'll always love Legacy for is that it gave us so many beloved characters that just never fit into any of the other lines. And while Legacy has leaned more into the G1 figures as of 2024, we are still getting other continuities in these waves and they look fantastic. Cyberverse Windblade is a great example though of representing other continuities while also fitting in with the G1 display. This is honestly to the point of me considering this figure a universal version of Windblade that you could basically use with any display, while also maintaining her accuracy to her original show. But in my opinion, Windblade's robot mode is near enough perfect. From every angle, she is nicely sculpted and does not suffer from any sorts of gaps or hideous jet kibble. She does house the cockpit on her back, and it is a bit of a backpack, but I personally don't think it's that bad, and it gives her a bit of a weight that is really appreciated. But if you don't like how the cockpit does look on her back, it is very conveniently placed on a joint that you can easily remove, and it leaves her basically kibble free with a lot of potential for the dynamic wings. But I gotta say that the painting and the details on her is fantastic. From head to toe, we got a lot of brilliant aspects to her, and it really does make the look pop. But speaking of the head, it's so good. All of the paint and the details give us so much life and character, and I do think it's perfectly accurate towards the original show, while also maintaining the look of Windblade overall. All these details definitely do invite you into posing her and standing her with other figures, and there's not a figure I could think of that she doesn't exactly go with. But my personal choice for posing Legacy Windblade definitely has to be Legacy Tarn, because considering that they're both sword users, it leads to so many amazing dynamic poses, and I just can't get enough of it. But obviously, to pose a figure, they need articulation, and Windblade has you more than covered. She basically has everything that you could ask for, apart from the ab crunch, but considering that this is a deluxe class figure and haha deluxe budget, the fact that we still got the fully posable wings, a full wrist swivel, a full waist swivel, and a full ankle pivot is nothing short of a miracle, and I can't help but love it. In terms of her size though, I would say she's quite standard for a deluxe class figure, and it does stack up very well with other figures in the line. I definitely wouldn't think she's too big. She definitely does fit the scale, as she's never been too tall, but with other characters such as Bumblebee, especially the animated one, her wave mate, she definitely towers over him. Windblade technically comes with two accessories, one being that gold crest for the back of her head, but I don't really class it as one. Her sword though is one of the best accessories I've seen on a Legacy figure. It's the perfect size for her, it's highly detailed, and it looks fantastic in her hand. And the fact that her weapon storage is on her hip so she can attach it, it's such a good look, and it leads to so many amazing poses. The robot mode is genuinely one of the best robot modes I've seen in the last few years, and debatably one of the best in Legacy, and she has quickly become one of my favorites. As for the transformation, while it is very simple, it is extremely fun. I very quickly learned the steps on how to convert her, and I can honestly say it's very satisfying to do, and one I find myself doing just casually. The vehicle mode is also a very good mode, but I will say I have two very small nitpicks about it. But I will say that as a whole, it is a fantastic look, and the jet itself is very nice looking. Her profile is absolutely fantastic. From every angle she looks so good, and the jet mode itself doesn't outright look like a robot. And the good thing is that she doesn't have too much of the robot underbelly that some other figures have. Looking at you, Blitzwing. She is definitely a smaller jet in comparison to the others though, but I do like how it fits in. She typically is a smaller craft, so I do think she looks good with the other jet modes, because she shouldn't really scale alongside Starscream and Cyclonus. They should be bigger than her, and I think it's just a fantastic result. But like I said, I do have two small issues with her. One being that the arms do not transform at all, so you can see her hands from any of the angles that aren't the front, but it's not too egregious, it's dependent on whether you're looking. The other issue is going to be the weapon storage, because the sword can become the jet stream to show off that Windblade is flying, but it doesn't really look good, especially considering that the back you can clearly see two thrusters, and it's only given us one jet stream. It doesn't look right, and I just leave it off. But it is a fantastic jet mode overall, and I know that I did have 2 small nitpicks, but I really don't believe it gets in the way of the final look, and I don't think you would be disappointed if you saw it in hand. But I gotta say, for an overall, this is debatably one of the best Legacy figures that we've ever had. I gotta say that if you are hesitant on buying her, don't be. You will love it, and it's more than worth the retail price of $25. If you ever watched my first ever video, you would have heard me talking about animated Bumblebee, and you would have heard me mention that I only paid £15 for Bumblebee. And I also only paid £15 for Windblade at the same time. And Windblade is beyond worth 15. It feels almost like I robbed Hasbro with this one, because it is worth the 25. I think it's more than worth that asking price, unlike Bumblebee. But I am just glad to see that Windblade has finally been getting some love in figure form, as it has been a long time since we've had another version of Windblade, I think approaching 10 years. But that was my look on Legacy Windblade, and I do hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you do have her as well. But for my next video, I might not be so kind to the figure. Leave your guesses on what it could be. Okay, bye!